What's up, Taiwan? I'm Jaime Ocon with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Tech giant TSMC has agreed to stop expansion of a plant following protests from local residents. The chipmaker will no longer build its 1-nanometer chip-making fab at a science park in Taoyuan. This comes after protests from residents over this weekend against the park's planned expansion onto private property. The government-commissioned park was expected to cover 150 hectares, 90% of which is privately owned. TSMC says that it respects residents' wishes. The company says it will continue to look for space to develop its new facility.
台积绝对还是有它1奈米的那个建厂选址的替代方案。毕竟整个台湾从北到南其实应该还是可以帮台积找到一些好的一些地点，来未来在市场跟量产它的1奈米。
Taiwan's largest weapons maker, the Gong Island Institute, is hoping to build an underground facility that can make missile components by 2026. It comes as the country is looking to focus more on domestic weapon production following delays in deliveries from the U.S. A show of support from Taiwan's largest partner. U.S. officials and think tank members are reaffirming their promise to help Taiwan boost its defense.
It bears repeating. The U.S. commitment to Taiwan is rock solid, it is principled, and it is bipartisan. We stand with our friends and will continue to do so. And we also welcome your continued commitment, President Tsai, to maintaining the status quo.
The U.S. is Taiwan's largest supplier of weapons and military assistance and provides a whole range of things like fighter jets, tanks, and anti-armor missiles. Taiwan's President Taoyuan has continued to thank the U.S. for its long-standing commitment to Taiwan's security.
我们也要感谢拜登政府高度重视我们的国防需求，持续落实对台军售的常态化，来协助台湾强化自我防卫的能力，共同维护区域的和平稳定。
But despite strong support from the U.S., deliveries of weapons to Taiwan have been delayed in recent years. That comes even as neighboring China steps up its military activity around Taiwan, a country it claims as its own territory. Now Taipei is pushing to bolster its own self-defense capabilities and trying to rely less on Washington for military hardware. One example is Taiwan's own missile program, which authorities believe could be a powerful deterrent to Chinese aggression. Taiwan's largest missile producer, the Gong Island Institute, says it hopes to build a 4-story underground facility to help produce missile parts by 2026. In recent years, Taiwan has specifically pushed to develop and mass-produce 2 kinds of missiles. The first are surface-to-air, which protect the skies above Taiwan against aircraft and other missiles. And the second are anti-ship, which can take out vessels sailing close to the country. This push for cost-effective, precision-guided weapons is all part of a so-called asymmetric strategy.
台湾在国防的投资上面，其实花很多力气在不对称作战上面，去强化我们在精准弹药上面的投资还有建构。所以从这个角度来说，你去首先第一点在防卫上面，你去增加它的这个固体火箭的生产能力，它是有绝对的必要性的。
But Taiwan's push to improve its domestic defense capabilities is just one part of its overall strategy. And with over $20 billion of American-made arms still on the way, the country remains heavily reliant on Washington for weapons and security. But its focus on domestically made weapons shows that Taiwan understands that its security is ultimately in its own hands. Fears of Chinese retaliation may have been behind South Korea's decision to prosecute a firm that supplied Taiwan's domestic submarine program. The marine technology company SI Initech was charged last year with violating trade laws. According to documents related to the case, authorities feared economic retaliation from Beijing like those imposed in 2016. The files also said SI Initech's decision to supply Taiwan's submarine program impacted South Korea's security. The company was fined for violating trade laws last August, and its director was given a suspended prison sentence. This revelation comes as a legislator from Taiwan's opposition party, Kuomintang, stands accused of leaking state secrets to South Korea. When asked if the incidents are related, Taiwan's defense minister had this to say.
已经进入了检调单位调查化，我们不会去再多语智慧，因为讲了任何一句话被引用了以后会穿凿附会的，就是造成更大一个波浪。
A local NGO says Taiwan could see a rise in disinformation campaigns ahead of January's national elections. The Taiwan Foundation for Democracy is holding a workshop in Taipei on fighting disinformation in the Indo-Pacific. The group says authoritarian countries use democratic countries' freedoms against them. They say in Taiwan, disinformation campaigns seek to divide society and influence the presidential election. The head of the U.S. Representative Office in Taiwan says Washington will stand with other countries to fight disinformation and defend democracy. It's been windy in Taiwan lately, and that's good news for the country's efforts to boost wind energy as it works towards its net zero 2050 goal. But while the big jump in green power is a positive sign, some say the authorities need to do more to take advantage of it. Jaime has this report.
Taiwan is enjoying a surge in wind power, thanks to strong early autumn northeasterlies. The state-owned Taiwan Power Company reports that for 8 straight days in October, the maximum amount of energy produced by the country's wind farms exceeded 1.5 million kilowatts. Stable output throughout the day was over 800,000 kilowatts. Taipower says the turbines can help provide clean energy during the fall and winter seasons, when air pollution tends to be more severe.
整个风季它未来就变成是我们在应付那个空污季，它其实是更能够满足我们整个用电的需求，而且它能够去替代原来的燃煤的那个发电量。
The Taoyuan administration has set some ambitious energy transition goals, hoping to raise the proportion of renewables to 20% of the country's energy mix by 2025. While the government has said it's unlikely to reach that goal, wind power potential is steadily growing. According to Taipower, the country's installed wind capacity reached around 2.5 million kilowatts in August. That's more than twice what it was the same month last year, and more than triple the July 2016 figure. Even when recent typhoons hit, wind turbines were able to keep spinning without being damaged. But more installed capacity doesn't necessarily equal more generation. Both wind and other renewables like solar are known for their intermittency, meaning they can't always consistently put out power at all times of the day. Something is needed to balance out supply and demand. There are mixed opinions on how to fix this problem.
为了解决它的间歇性，我们必须要去布置一些这种快速起降的机组。那目前台湾主要的快速起降机组，除了抽蓄式水力就是天然气。
But many say battery storage is the answer, an area that the country is swiftly moving into. Last year, Taipower set a goal of reaching 1.5 gigawatts of storage capacity by 2025. Renewable energy professional Scott Hsu says the industry quickly jumped on board, expanding to 6 gigawatts worth of projects.
For the latest current technology battery is one way, and it's that one of the reliable way, and that could be scale up into a certain level of capacity in bridging renewables to the grid. But I think for the grid to slowly introduce or connect all these battery storage could need to have a midterm or even longer-term plan.
Hsu says that compared to many of its neighbors, Taiwan's power grid is quite strong. But the government should also keep in mind how it will continue managing the power supply in the future. As efforts ramp up to switch over to renewables and cut down on carbon emissions, the country will also be keeping an eye out for better ways to harness the energy put out by wind and solar farms. Justin Wu and Jeremy Olivier for TaiwanPlus.
The Keelung Island International Rock Fishing Competition made waves off Taiwan's northern coast over the weekend. 84 fishers sailed to the island near the port city of Keelung to join in the 2-day event. The rod fishing competition was divided into team and individual categories, with top prizes of about $900 US. Catches were judged by the weight and the type of the fish, with fish smaller than 20 centimeters being thrown back. This was the first year for the event to host overseas contestants and the first to have a female referee. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally today, take a look at this traditional Indonesian style of dancing that's in danger of being lost. I'm Jaime Ocon. Take care and see you next time.